I want to meet you, but not in the way I used to. There is something different in me tonight, something darker and more restless than before. I've spent too many nights thinking about you from a distance, imagining what I would say if you were standing in front of me. Now I don't want another message, another photograph, or another memory. I want to see you with my own eyes. I want to know whether the feeling that has been haunting me all this time becomes even stronger when you're standing only a few steps away. I've tried convincing myself that distance is safer, that keeping my feelings hidden protects both of us. But every attempt to stay away has only made the obsession worse. The more I tell myself to forget you, the more my mind searches for you. I find myself remembering the smallest details, the expressions you make, the way you look away when you're trying to hide something, the silence between your words. You have somehow become a thought I cannot escape, and I'm no longer interested in pretending that I want to. I want to meet you somewhere away from the palace, away from the people who watch every movement I make and judge every decision I take. Somewhere quiet, where there are no guards standing between us and no expectations attached to my name. I want one moment where I don't have to be a prince, and you don't have to worry about what anyone thinks. Just you and me, facing everything we've been avoiding. But I know there is danger in wanting you this much. Obsession can make a person reckless, and I refuse to let my feelings become something that frightens you. I don't want to force my presence into your life. I want you to choose to meet me. I want you to walk toward me because you want to, not because my title, my power, or my emotions made you feel like you had no other choice. Still, I won't lie to myself about what I feel. I miss you more than I should. I think about you at the worst possible moments. I see your face when I'm trying to make important decisions, and somehow every road inside my mind leads back to you. The palace can be full of hundreds of people, yet there are nights when it feels completely empty simply because you're not there. If I see you again, I know I won't be able to pretend that everything is normal. Too many feelings have been buried beneath silence for too long. I will probably spend the first few seconds simply looking at you, trying to memorize the person I've spent so much time missing. I want to know whether your eyes still search for mine the way they once did, whether your presence still has the same effect on me, and whether there is still something between us that neither of us has been brave enough to name. I want to meet you because I need the truth. Not the version of you that exists in my memories, not the person I imagine when I'm alone, but you as you are now. I want to hear what you've been keeping inside, and I want you to see what I've become while trying to live without you. Maybe meeting you will finally give me peace, or maybe it will make everything worse. Either way, I'm ready for it. Because I've reached the point where not seeing you hurts more than the risk of meeting you. I want one honest moment with you, away from the world, away from the palace, away from every secret we've been carrying. And if that moment changes everything between us, then I'll face whatever comes next. I have already chosen the place where I want to see you. Somewhere quiet, far enough from the palace that no one will recognize us, but safe enough that I won't have to spend every second looking over my shoulder. I don't want a crowd, cameras, guards, or anyone interrupting us. I want the kind of silence where I can finally hear what you have been trying to tell me. I've spent too long imagining this moment, and now that it might actually happen, I find myself wondering whether I'll be able to hide everything I've been feeling. I know myself well enough to understand that the moment I see you, every carefully controlled emotion may disappear. I can spend hours convincing myself that I should remain calm, that I should keep my distance, that I should treat this meeting like an ordinary conversation. But you have never been ordinary to me. You are the one person who can make all my carefully constructed walls feel useless without even trying. One look from you has always been enough to remind me why I kept coming back. There are so many things I want to ask you, but I don't want to overwhelm you with them. I want to know whether you missed me. I want to know whether you ever thought about calling me and stopped yourself. I want to know if there were nights when you looked at your phone hoping to see my name. And perhaps most importantly, I want to know whether there is still a place for me in your heart. I may be a prince, but when it comes to you, I don't want assumptions. I want the truth. I've imagined what it will feel like when you finally stand in front of me. Maybe you'll be nervous. Maybe you'll avoid my eyes. Maybe you'll pretend that nothing has changed. But I know myself. I'll notice everything. The smallest movement, the slightest hesitation, the expression you try to hide. Not because I want to control you, but because I've spent so long memorizing you that even your silence has a language I understand. And if you tell me that you don't want me anymore, I will have to accept it. That thought is painful enough to make me stop breathing for a moment, but I would rather hear a painful truth from you than live inside a beautiful lie. I don't want your fear. I don't want your obligation. I want your choice. If you choose me, I'll stay. If you choose distance, I'll respect it. But I need to hear that choice from you directly. Still, there is a selfish part of me that hopes you will choose me. I hope you'll look at me and see the same man who couldn't stop thinking about you after you left. I hope you'll understand that my silence was never indifference. Sometimes I stayed quiet because I was afraid that saying too much would reveal how deeply I had fallen. I was supposed to be the prince who controlled his emotions. Yet somehow you became the one thing I couldn't control. When I finally see you, I don't want to waste the moment arguing about the past. I want to stand there and let the silence tell us what words cannot. I want to know whether the distance between us was enough to destroy what we had, or whether it only made us realize how much we still wanted each other. Perhaps I'll finally understand why my heart never learned how to let you go. Until that day comes, I'll keep the meeting between us private. No one needs to know where I'll be, or why I'm leaving the palace. Some things are too important to expose to a world that constantly tries to turn our lives into something they can control. This meeting belongs to us. And when you finally walk toward me, I know I'll have only one thought in my mind after all this time: you're finally here. Not in my memories, not in my dreams, not in the endless thoughts that kept me awake at night. Right in front of me. And whatever happens after that moment, I know I'll never forget the way it feels to see you again.